Hey everybody, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and NPD by somebody that has both. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. You know how those work, don't you? And I'll see you on all the socially things that are scrolling past you on the screen right now. I am absolutely knackered. I had enough sleep, but it happened at completely the wrong time. It happened at sort of 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's not good, is it? The reason being, I was up all night having imaginary arguments. This happens from time to time. You go to bed, you think about someone who has upset you or hurt you in some way, and you start shouting at them, or texting them, or whatever it is. In fact, your brain might go through a few things of things you want to shout at this person, things you want to say. Maybe you want to hurt them in some way because they've hurt you. And it all just comes flooding out. And once it starts, I find it really difficult to stop. And I get wound up. And it's not just a mental component. There's a physical element to it as well, because in my head, I'm going through it, right? I'm having this argument. I'm shouting at somebody, all these things I want to shout. And my body gets involved. There's tension, there's anxiety, there's a bit of adrenaline, there's quickening of breath. There's the whole thing as if it's really going on. And you can't get out of it. And once it finishes, it just starts again or takes a different form and starts again. Maybe you start composing a Discord message that you want to put up somewhere, or like I say, that text message you want to send, that kind of thing. And it will not stop. And I haven't found a solution to that yet. If I had, I would get more sleep at the more appropriate times. They seem to come in two forms, these arguments. Both forms are directed at somebody who I feel has in some way hurt me. But what differs is that some of them would perhaps be beneficial were I to let some of this stuff out. Some things you need to say. You might need to find a more constructive and reasonable way of saying them, but some things are helpful to get out. Especially when we're talking about relationships with people that aren't going away. Family members, that sort of thing. Relationships you don't really want to end, maybe. Close friendships, that sort of thing. And it's important that these things come out in as harmless a way as possible. I think they call that tact. You know, the aim is not to hurt someone, however much it feels like we've been hurt. But these things need to come out, these things need to be said, because maybe things need to change in a relationship going forward, and things can't change or won't change until these issues that you're having imaginary arguments are addressed. I've had experience with that personally, and it has been very cathartic to get stuff out. I'm not claiming it came out in the most constructive and reasonable way, but it came out and it helped. And now that's one less thing I have imaginary arguments about. The other things are far more difficult to deal with, because these pertain to relationships that perhaps have come to an end, or should come to an end, or whatever. The more definitive sort of finite, this person is kind of already out of my life kind of thing. Because then whether or not it would be helpful to get this stuff out to that person becomes a much more grey area. Because there is no relationship going forward. There's nothing that needs to change. We're shouting because we're hurt. But there's nothing that person can do about that. Does an apology make things go away? Does saying sorry? Does them saying anything really help? We're still hurt. We're still, whatever it was that hurt us has occurred. And this is difficult to deal with because there's an urge to lash out. And it's that urge to make that other person feel that pain and that upset that we're going through. Because how else do we communicate that? How else do we get that justice, that satisfaction? Because an apology won't do, will it? We need them to be hurt. And that's very bad and very not constructive and will just make you a horrible person. There's no need to go back into somebody's life and hurt them, however much you feel that might feel good. And I think this is a very malicious, narcissistic thing to do. That I've been hurt, now I'm gonna hurt you. And it might well come after a big narcissistic hit on ourselves. Something that's made us feel devalued and degraded or failed. Whatever it is that our particular problems mount on us. And that urge to lash out, that desire to hurt like we've been hurt is really, really strong. But it can be avoidable. I've managed to make it a long way without hurting anybody, but I'm definitely starting to feel that this stuff needs a way to come out. It's been suggested to me that I try writing a letter, and I think that's a reasonable thing. Obviously, a non-sent letter. Otherwise, I might as well just phone somebody and shout at them, right? There needs to be a healthy, more constructive way of coming to terms with these feelings and how to deal with them, and I haven't found it yet. Hence the lack of sleep. Like I say, I'm gonna try writing a letter or something like that, something to say out loud these feelings and ask these questions and get no answers, because why would you get any? I think this is about coming to terms with something that has hurt you. I think that might ultimately, now I talk it through, be what it is that I'm talking about. It's not just about the imaginary argument. The imaginary argument is a symptom. It's something that's coming out because there's other emotions in here that need to come out. And there's got to, they can come out in an explosion, they can come out in rage, they can come out in a way that hurts. And I don't want that. I'm bottling that up because that I'm afraid of. And I haven't found a thing to replace it with yet. It's not doing me any good. This is a very tricky part of the process. I'm not supposed to go on hurting people. I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. I know what I do that hurts people, and I don't want to do that. So I need to find a positive way of getting these emotions out, because imaginary arguments, right? They aren't going away. The times they have gone away is when I found that outlet for these emotions, whatever they are, however they pertain to whatever particular relationship. If they came out, I sleep better. And keeping them bottled up is horrible, because it drags things out. It consumes you. It takes sleep away. It takes the next day away, and so on and so on. And when you're trying to get yourself back on course anyway, it's just another thing to be dealing with. And nobody needs that. Nobody needs to be lying in bed at 6 a.m. having imaginary arguments with somebody they're probably never going to see again. Or a parent. If you have any suggestions for this, by the way, let me know, because I'm kind of clueless. I hope this sort of helps somebody. Maybe some of you do know what I'm talking about. I think you do. Anyway, I'll see you later. Bye.